Hi and welcome. My name is Chef Julio and today we're making pasteles. Pasteles is the #1 product in Puerto Rico when it comes to the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Three Kings. You'll find it made from pork, yuca, chicken. Vegetarian pasteles are very popular. Some of the ingredients that you're going to be using for making pasteles are tortilla, yame, potatoes, plantain, bananas, and pumpkin. Some of the spices that we're going to be using are adobo, bay leaf, garlic, oregano, and anato or achote for color. Salt and pepper, of course. And we're going to be adding additional items to making these pasteles. We have olives with red peppers and chickpeas. We have a pernil or a pork shoulder that has a skin that requires to come off, and simply run a knife through it and make sure your knife is nice and sharp, but watch out for those fingers. This is the bone that you want out of the pernil, and it is a little bit labor intensive, so if you don't want to go through that, talk to your butcher and I'm sure he'll be able to take care of that for you. Here is the meat that you want to use, and this is enough meat to produce about 20 pasteles. The next step that we need to do is to cube this meat, and we want to make cubes about, I would say about 1 inch all around. We're going to start the stewing process by putting the pork into hot water. We're going to add additional items to that in a moment. We're making a fresh sofrito that we're going to add to our stew meat, and for that we're using recao, cilantro, green pepper, and onion, and ajicitos dulce. Here's the sofrito that we just chopped up. We have the onions, the recao, the cilantro, and the ajíes, and we're going to add that to our pork that's stewing. This also gets a good amount, about, I would say 2 cups of crushed tomato. It's time to spice things up. And with that, we're going to add to our pork some pepper, adobo, garlic, little salt, two bay leaves, 3 bay leaves, about a teaspoon of oregano. We'll give this a good mix. Now here's a tip when it comes to preparing pork. A lot of people, they'll take and they'll cook the pork for an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. Way overdone. You have to remember, the pastel, once it's completed, it's going to boil for an hour. That's cooking. So what I recommend is to simply take your stew meat and stew it anywhere from half hour to 40 minutes, about halfway done. This way the second part will happen in the boiling process at the end, and you'll have perfect pork for your pasteles. We're about to prepare the masa, and the first item that we're going to work on is the plantain. And basically, preparing a plantain, the hardest part is cutting it. I want you to cut the ends off and then go cut into the green part of the plantain. Careful that you don't cut yourself. And we have a banana, which basically is going to get cut in the same way. The grating part is rather easy when it comes to the banana and the plantain. Make sure that you use the part of the grater that's going to give you a fine grade. And again, careful with those fingers. Yam, or nyame, you'll find it in your local supermarket right along with yaupia. Both these items, once grated, will create a silky texture that will help your masa greatly. And what we need to do is to peel by cutting on both ends of the nyame, or white yam. Cut down. It's always important to cut the bottom. This way you create a base, and it makes it a lot easier to cut the yaupia or yam. This is what we're looking for. This silky texture. Once this is mixed into the masa, you'll create a softer pastel. Alright, the masa is done, and make sure that you blend it well. You have a mix here of potatoes, yams, bananas, plantain, and pumpkin. So you have to make sure that it's well blended. The masa also needs spices, so it's quite important to add to this some ground oregano, some garlic, little adobo, good amount of salt, and about a teaspoon of pepper. To this we're going to add And again, remember that the whole idea is to make soft pasteles. 2 cans of evaporated milk, 1 in each, is going to be added, and we're going to mix this up. These are anato seeds or achote, and these are the seeds that are going to give us the color that we're going to put into the masa. And what you do is you take some oil, canola or vegetable oil, and you add heat to it. The heat and the oil together will extract the color. We're going to strain some of the oil into the masa to give it color. Isn't that a beautiful orange color? Now we can mix the masa very carefully, and it'll give it that nice color. It'll add oil to the mix, and it'll allow you to mix the masa one more time with the seasonings. After the blending of the oil and the color, you could see that the masa has a very smooth texture. As we Puerto Ricans say, en la masa está el sabor. We're going to be using roasted peppers in making the pasteles, the pork and the chicken. The easiest way to do a roasted pepper is to simply put it directly on fire. You want to burn the outer skin, and you don't have to go to the supermarket and buy peppers at $2 to $3 per can. This pepper probably costs about 30 cents, and you burn it yourself. And don't be afraid of burning it, because that's basically what you want. We're going to blacken the outside of this pepper. I suggest you use tongs to turn the pepper. Turn it over and allow it to continue burning. The next step, what you want to do with the roasted pepper is simply put it into cold water, and the black burnt area will simply come off. Kite string, an important product needed when you're making pasteles. Simply stretch your arms out, knife or scissor, cut, and you're ready to wrap pasteles. The most important product that we are definitely using is pastel paper. You can find this also in your local supermarket. And strong product, holds up to a good 2 hours of boiling pastel paper. The plantain leaf, perfect for bringing out that old style Puerto Rican flavor in your pasteles. Take a little bit of oil, put your leaf down and also oil the leaf. Take a heaping service spoon of masa, make a little bit of well, and use about, I would say, enough meat to cover from end to end. In this particular case, I like the sweetness of adding 3 or 4 raisins, and we're going to add 3 to 4 chickpeas. We add a nice pepper to go from one end to the other. Fold over, press back, tuck twice. Make sure that it's nicely sealed so that water doesn't get inside. Fold over halfway, press down, Yes. Tuck again twice. And again, and there we go. The reason why we fold them together is so that when we tie them, the pasteles are going to be in the water for a good 45 minutes to an hour, and we want to make sure that the water stays out and the flavor stays in. Okay, the string, basically you want to have it so that when you put it down it's open, so that it covers 1/3 and 1/3 of the pastel, about there. And you fold over and you pull. If you notice, the ends, near the end, you take this, turn it over and around and over again. Tie a knot. Go back. And you're done. With the scissors, cut off the remaining part. This is what you want. You want a nice pastel that's covered from end to end, down the middle, and in the center. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it too loose. You have to remember this is going in the water for almost an hour and it's going to expand somewhat. Okay, let's make a vegetarian pastel. Little oil. Your plantain leaf. Small amount of oil on that. Heaping spoonful, make the little well, and olives, chickpeas, cauliflower, pepper, corn, peas, and carrot. Fold over. And over. Let's tie these two together. Again, we ring the string, put the pasteles over, turn the center, turn, make a knot, turn, second knot, close it, and you're done. It's almost like if you were tying a package for Christmas, and especially once you get the hang of it, you'll be doing these rather quickly. We're also stewing a chicken for the pasteles de yuca that we're going to make in a little while, and I picked up some Cornish hens on sale. We're going to add the Cornish hen whole. Of course you can cut this up, but we're adding it whole to the water. And what I'm going to do is, here again we're using the basic spices that we just used earlier, and that's pepper, salt, about, teaspoon of oregano, a few bay leaves, little garlic, sazon, the only different that we're adding item that we're adding here is some chicken bouillon to give it additional flavor. And of course, let's not forget our 2 cups, about 1 cup to 2 of tomatoes. And we're going to finish right after adding our tomato. We're going to add our recao, ajíes, pimientos, and cilantro. These ingredients will give our chicken a wonderful island flavor. Now that the chicken has cooled down a bit, what you want to do is separate the meat from the bone. The reason why I cooked the chicken with the bone is because the bone adds a lot more flavor to the finished product. Your chicken, instead of it just being cooked meat, now has a lot of flavor. Most of that flavor is incorporated into the meat and it'll pass on into the masa. Our chicken sauce is just about reduced to the point where we want it, and what we're going to do now is add the chicken back into the sauce. And here again you have that nice thick consistency. This is going to incorporate into the masa with the chicken and give you a fantastic pastel, un pastel de yuca con pollo. The masa that we're using now is a yuca masa, which you can find in your supermarket. It comes in already grated form, and what you need to do is simply let it thaw out and take some of your color, add a little bit of salt and pepper for flavor, and it's a yuca masa that will give you yuca pasteles. And what we're doing is we're going to make the pasteles of yuca with stewed chicken. The pasteles that we're making now consist of yuca and stewed chicken, and the only way that I can tell the difference is simply by not using the plantain leaf. We're going to go and make it directly on the paper. So we have a little bit of the oil. We're going to add the masa, make that little well. Add some nice pieces of chicken, raisin, the olives, chickpeas, and roasted pepper. I'm going to take a little bit of that sauce that we mentioned and put it in there for flavor. It should be wonderful. Chicken Pasteles by Chef Julio. The cabbage leaf used in making pasteles, which is your option, but basically what you need to do here is to take the cabbage leaf, put it into hot water for about 5 minutes, let it cool off, and your cabbage leaf is nice and pliable for making pasteles with an outer leaf. Chicken pasteles wrapped in cabbage. These pasteles that we've done today, the vegetarian, the chicken, and the most popular, the pork pasteles, now go into a pot of boiling water, and they go in there for a good 45 to 50 minutes, 60 minutes, basically an hour. Those pasteles, the water has to be well salted, because if not, it'll extract a lot of the flavor out of the pastel. So the water should be well salted and hot. Okay. All right, here we go. We're almost at the end, and this is beautiful pasteles at its max. You could see that the yuca pasteles are the ones that are more yellow. The other pork pasteles that we're making are these ones here, and they plump when you cook them. That's not only a Frankfurter term, definitely something that you can also use for pasteles. They're going to be ready in about half hour. Again, make sure that your water is nice and hot and salty. You want to make sure that you have enough salt in the water so that it doesn't extract the flavor from the pasteles. These will be ready in half hour. We're going to have a wonderful time eating them. Well, we couldn't help ourselves. We had to make a little arroz con gandules to go with the pasteles. So I threw together some of my quickie arroz con gandules, and there it is. Excellent. That is beautiful.
Pasteles. Boy, you really outdone yourself this time.
You always say that.
Well, this one more time, Chef Julio, with pasteles de yuca, with chicken, and also pasteles con guineo and pork, and also his special vegetarian pasteles. And on the ready, some arroz con gandules just at the last minute, just like that.
Yep. It's to you.
Hey, tell me what it tastes like.
Oh. I still got it, bro.
Está bueno.
I still got it. You let me know.
Okay, let me see. Already. Patele de pollo con yuca, and this one has a banana leaf, and then this one has cabbage.
Yeah,
so
cabbage leaf,
let me go with the cabbage.
Lots of meat.
Incomparable. I mean, out of this world.
Soft, melt in your mouth, delicious pasteles.
Thank you. Buen provecho.
We did it again.